All right. Hello, all you sports fans out there in podcast land, and welcome once again to another edition of Babbling Brooks, your new favorite podcast, where I, your host Brooks, try to bring you some of today's sports news with just a little twist of my point of view. Hope everyone is having a great weekend, trying something a little different here. Gonna do a post work as opposed to a pre-work episode, because normally what I do, I've been working mostly nights for since I moved to Atlanta, basically like the last 10 over the more than 10 years. So I've gotten kind of used to that, even though I'm naturally a little bit more of a morning person. Like, I'm a guy, like, back in the day growing up as a kid, you have a sleepover with your friends, and I'd be the one that was up like 2 hours before everyone else at a house a lot of times I was not familiar with. Especially, like middle school, elementary and middle school, you'd be going to different people's houses, Might be somebody from school, but you hadn't been to their house yet. Definitely one of those I remember as a kid finally seeing my first pornography. Somebody had like one of those, like, the magazine stash hidden somewhere, and other times it'd be like, this wasn't one of those, or I probably did wake up before my friends then, but same story. So I'd be like walking around with nobody to talk to but my friends' parents a lot of times, because usually I would try for like 30 minutes or more to just lay there, like, and hopefully either I go back to sleep, or maybe, someone else will wake up soon, and then I'll have someone to talk to, and not be the loser up before everybody else. But that was always me. So, kind of a natural morning person, but I've been working a night job, so it made it pretty easy. Just kind of do this, whenever I felt like it, morning, afternoon. I didn't go into work. Haven't been working until like 7 o'clock at night usually, and it's changing. So I have been working just 2 day shifts, about to pretty much fully swing into day shifts in the next couple of weeks. So I figure I might as well get used to this, because occasionally I'm going to have to do this, unless I only want to do 2 episodes a week. Which I don't want to do that. I would like to do more than just episodes on my complete days off. So I'm going to try to start doing some of these nighttime episodes, even though, you'll be able to listen to it whenever the hell, because you got, Spotify, occasional episode on YouTube. But hey, man, just keeping y'all abreast of the situation. So this is a new thing for me, doing it after work. But I had to get on here and talk about my beloved Braves, baby, having 2 more wins since we last spoke. So that's right, that's a sweep. Brewers on their way, not feeling great about their 3 days here. The Braves got to feel pretty good about these back-to-back pretty much series with the Brewers, with, of course, the Red Sox, us getting swept. They're right there in the middle, but at least it was only a 2-game sweep. Just not, it's still, you never want to get swept, but there's a big, one extra game to me makes a big difference. A regular 3-game sweep, or what happened to us, a 2-game sweep. But we gave the Brewers a full-on sweep. We beat them 5 out of 6 meetings in the last week, just taking care of business. We did it first on Saturday, opening up with a 6-run first inning on our way to scoring 11 runs. That's right, back-to-back wins for the Braves while scoring double digits. And we kind of needed the runs. It's back-to-back games where did a lot of scoring early, gave back some of the lead later on to make you feel, not quite nervous, but more like, ooh, should we worry? But no, nothing to worry about in this one, unless you were the Brewers, because they had to deal with Ronald Acuna, just a menace that he is. In this game, he ends up getting his 50th stolen base, part of that 6-run first inning. So I was looking at the other team's score while looking at ours. So Bryce Elder getting some run support in this one, and he didn't need it. The bullpen kind of did. More on that in a minute. But Bryce Elder getting win number 8. He's only got 2 losses on the year. And, it's great to see him get back-to-back very quality starts. Actually gets the win in this one. And after giving up, 12 runs at one point over, his last two starts, and 14 runs his last two starts. I was trying to do it off memory. And that was only in like 7 total innings pitched. Gave up 14 runs. But his last 2 starts, following those 2, it's like 13 innings pitched and only 3 runs. So looks like Bryce Elder's bounced back, doing pretty good. 3 strikeouts for him in this one. Control was better, didn't walk anybody. Only 4 hits, resulting in 1 run during his 7 innings pitched. So good seeing Bryce. It got starting a little concerned. Those back-to-back rough outings after not looking like superb, like as much as he had the previous outings. So to see him have 2 quality stuff, and he's not ever going to be like the big strikeout guy, but finds a way. Bat to ball ends up in glove a lot of times for him. So great job for him. We talked about Ronald Acuna Jr. stealing his 50th base of the year, getting things started, getting on base immediately, gets to second base immediately. Ozzy Albies knocks him in immediately, and that would start the score. And Acuna was like, he knew he was scoring the second that ball was hit. He was gone. And he is just on a mission. He is the first player in Major League Baseball history ever to have 20 home runs or more, because he's got more, 50 stolen bases. Now he's got more than that before the month of August even starts. It ain't ever happened. Just that's the kind of shit Ronald Acuna Jr. does. He just takes care of business. Like I mentioned before, he didn't just have stolen base number 50 in the first inning. How about coming up in the 4th inning to extend the lead? Home run number 24 on the season for Mr. Ronald Acuna Jr. 3 of 4, scored twice, drove in 2 runs, as this was a 2-run shot. And that would give the Braves another lead. That was right after Sal Frelick, the rookie, who is just doing a great job. He had a sac fly in this one. Also had an incredible catch on Travis d'Arnaud's sac fly that gave the Braves a 3-0 lead in the first. But after he gets that run in the 4th, Acuna's like, you know what? I liked having a 6+ run lead. So that's where he comes in with the 2-run homer. Followed it up the next inning, Marcell Ozuna, giving us even a little more cushion with a solo shot. And he would follow that up. You think that was enough? Ozuna already had an RBI double in the first. It's back-to-back games with an RBI double. Back-to-back games with a home run. He decides to add another home run in there for good measure. And that would give the Braves an 11-1 lead. Insurmountable. Felt like it, even though the Brewers making us a little nervous there in the 8th inning. RBI single from Weimer, not Wiener. And then William Contreras. We all remember him, our former beloved Brave. At least if somebody's going to score on us, it's him. Because then right after that, he hits a 3-run home run. And if it wasn't so late in the game, maybe the Braves would get a little nervous from this, because that's just like that. 4-run inning kind of cuts it in half almost. Went from a 10-run lead to only a 6-run lead, which that's where it would stand. The Braves getting the W in this scenario. Talked about Acuna going 3 of 4. Ozzy Albies, who got the scoring started by driving in Mr. Acuna, his good friend. He was 2 of 3 in this contest. Marcell Ozuna, 3 of 4, 4 RBI. That double in the first, also doing that. And that gave us the 4-0 lead. And those 2 home runs, another Brave with more than 20 home runs. That gave him 21 home runs on the season. Let's look at these stats. Who's got the most? We've got 2, 4, 5 players with 20 or more home runs. And then we got Sean Murphy, who is not very far away. Eddie Rosario, not very far away. He added to that total and that monster of a first inning for the Bravos. He's 1 of 4, but making that one count. It's back-to-back 2 RBI games for Sir Rosario. 16 home runs now on the season. So he is on his way to being in that 20 home run club relatively soon. Matt Olson, someone who joined that a long time ago. We'll talk more about his RBI supremacy when we go over the next game. For now, we'll just say he had that RBI single in the first inning. He was 1 of 4 in this game. Travis d'Arnaud going 1 of 3, driving in a run on that sac fly. Definitely check out Sal Frelick's catch on that, because he had a couple great catches on top of going 3 for 3 in his major league debut against us last week, in the only game the Brewers won in that against us at all. Especially that series. They didn't win any of this series. So great catch for Sal Frelick, but we still got a run out of it, and we added some more. But kid looks like he'll have a good career. The way he can swing a bat, and it seems like every game, or at least every game against us, he's making just amazing catches. I mean, he did 2 that robbed us of extra bases in his major league debut. And had, Travis would have, he drove in 1, he might have drove in 2, probably at least, if Frelick does not make that catch. Orlando Arcia, a quiet 3 for 4, scoring once. Austin Riley, 2 of 4 in this one, scoring a run. Michael Harris II, the only Brave, again, one of the only Brave, this time the only Brave without a run. Everybody else puts at least 1 up in this game, but he still got on base, so give him credit for that. Not so good news, Taylor Hearn had his Braves debut, and it's going to be his only game with the Braves. His only game in the Braves system, because he got sent down yesterday he pitched. Today he got sent down before the game so they could bring up A.J. Smith-Shawver to come back to the team and make a start. Because I remember thinking it was weird when someone was like, Taylor Hearn could start Sunday. I was like, really? He's a reliever. Why would they bring him in just to start? But, that was answered when he came in Saturday finally. But it didn't go so well. 1 out, 2 hits, 2 walks, 4 runs. And he's out of here because not only did he get sit down to Gwinett, he got traded. We got Nicky Lopez from the Royals for him, which just seems kind of surprising just for him straight up. I guess the Royals really trying to get rid of him, because I thought there might be some competition. I know I saw somebody was trying to either get him from them or get Vaughn Grissom from us, and it seemed like it was gonna, he's not going to be the same price as Vaughn, but it would cost something. But we didn't even trade a player to get Taylor Hearn. We basically bought him. We traded him for cash. We traded to get him in return for giving the Rangers, I believe that one, gave them cash considerations. So to turn that around and get Nicky Lopez, who is a pretty decent, infield depth guy, I would assume he'll probably take Charlie's job. But they'll send him to Gwinett first, because he does have 2 options, and they send him down those 2 times at least before anybody else can have any claim on him. So it seems like a good trade. Taylor Hearn didn't look great from what we saw. So to get a decent, quality infield depth guy in return seems pretty good. Depending on how much cash we spend, I guess. But Daysbel Hernandez, a guy who made his debut the other day, just like Sal Frelick of the Brewers, comes in to save the day, finishes the 8th inning, because Hearn, like I said, only got 1 out. So Daysbel Hernandez gets the other 2 outs, 1 hit, 1 walk, 0 runs, strikes out one of them dudes. And nice start to Mr. Hernandez's career so far. Had that 1 rough outing, but that's going to happen. You can't win them all, literally. But good to see him, not allow any runs despite getting a couple guys on base. Because a lot of guys, once you get them on base, when you're that new, that young, things can kind of snowball. So good to see he came on despite, being in a situation, but takes care of stuff. And then that was the 8th. And then Mr. Michael Tonkin coming on to finish this. Too big a gap, even with the beginning of their comeback there for it to count as a save. So you gotta let Marcell rest a little bit in that situation. Yeah, so good job him. And some other good news pitching wise for the Bravos is for the Gwinett team down in Jacksonville taking on the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Max Fried gets 79 pitches in over 4 1/3 inning. Gives up a couple runs. I was looking at little base runners, but overall looked pretty good. Picked off like 2 guys that got on base in the first inning, so it was cool to see him. I feel like he was kind of testing all his tools out, so good for him. Looks like the word is he should hopefully be back with the Braves maybe Friday is what I saw most recently, because this was suspected to be his final rehab appearance, and it didn't really seem like he did anything to dissuade that. So I wouldn't expect them to send him down for another game. I would expect him to be back with the team this week, making his start, rejoining the rotation. And boy, do we need him. I mean, the Braves have still been winning, but definitely that's someone you like to have. You like to have your ace. Like, even when you're winning without him. Remember last year, Max was getting, was sick in the playoffs, running out of steam. Spencer Strider was dealing with injuries then. So you got, have as many guys as you can. And this what getting AJ Smith up there to start the next game. We'll talk about his start. Not necessarily probably going to go back down again, but Max definitely going to be taking a spot. But there still will be a spot open. Well, I believe Soroka will get another shot at that place in the rotation. And, of course, A.J. Smith-Shawver, I believe, is the other kind of competitor for that. So we'll see if maybe they bring Soroka up sometime in the next few days. But definitely some good news. I'm getting Max Fried back. Excited about that. And just the way he's progressed, like it's not been any rushing him back whatsoever. Just like once he started throwing the ball again, he's just progressed right along to where the next step will be getting a start for the big club once again. The big club getting another big win earlier today. I did not get to watch this game at all because I was at work. I didn't even look at the score. I barely looked at my phone until it was like the 8. And I was like, okay, just hold on, guys. But the Braves did hold on in this one. They won the game 8-6, so definitely a closer game. Definitely more of a fight. The Braves had to come back 3 times in this contest. They were down 1-0 in the first, and in the third they were down 3-2, and then in the 6th inning they went down 6-5. And every single time the Braves answered and either tied it or took the lead. The bottom of that same inning. The first inning, Yelich scoring on a wild pitch. A.J. Smith-Shawver, a little rough around the edges, but it has been a while since he's been up with the big club, and he had like an astronomic rise to come up the first time. So he was ahead of schedule, like we were saying at the time. But still, like the fact that he's able to, wild pitch, allowing a run in the first inning, and finds a way to still get through a couple more innings. Not unscathed, but still getting it done. So the first time the Braves come back with Austin Riley with a 463-foot home run. Like, man, they should give us extra runs for that. It was a 2-run shot. He had Acuna on base, but maybe give us some more than that, man. That was his, he's got 24 homers on the season. He ended up being 1 of 3, but making that one count. And most importantly, erasing a 1-0 deficit that Yelich did when he scored on that wild pitch. So just like that, it's 2-1. Couple innings later, though, two solo homers given up by A.J. Smith-Shawver. Yelich knocking one of them. Carlos Santana, the new first baseman. Can't be. It's got to be another Santana. Because it was so smooth. I know it's a first baseman, Santana. I can't be Carlos. That'd be too funny. But immediately after that, so the Braves down again. Now it's 3-2. Matt Olson, the first of 2 home runs in this one, and gives us the lead both times. both home runs. This was a 3-run shot. He also added a 2-run homer in the 8th inning, giving us the final total of 8-6. 35 home runs for Matt Olson. 35 fucking home runs on the season. That leads everybody in the National League. There's only one player in Major League Baseball that is ahead of him, and he will be coming to town tomorrow. Shohei Ohtani. Even though now he is not scheduled to pitch like he was on Wednesday. So that kind of throws off. Like, man, if he's pitching, I definitely got to go. But if he's hitting, I still like to see him. I mean, he's he's the best player in baseball. Sorry, Ronald, but you're not pitching right now, so I got to say it. But Ronald Acuna is the best player in the National League. Ronald Acuna is the second best player in baseball. But we're talking about Matt Olson. Matt Olson, 35 home runs. Not only that, he leads Major League Baseball, not just the National League, but Major League Baseball with 88 RBIs. He had 5 in this game. Both of them giving the Braves the lead. 5-3 in the 3rd, 8-6 in the 8th. And just when you need him, boom, Matt Olson just having a beast of a year. 2 of 4 in this game. And just not just hitting home runs, but hitting them at such important times. Both times giving this team the lead. 2 of the 3 lead changes coming from Matt Olson. The other one, of course, from Austin Riley. The Braves Bash Brothers, baby! Excuse me. Talking more about Austin. In the 8th inning, not only did Matt Olson have his 2 home runs, and Austin Riley having a home run, Marcell Ozuna, you may remember, we're just talking about, he had 2 homers in the previous game. And he had a homer before that. He wasn't done. Marcell Ozuna has a home run in every game of this series sweep. That's 4 home runs in these 3 games. 6 RBIs. And he tied the game. So Matt, because the Braves were down after that 4-run inning. But right after that, not 4-run inning, that was the previous game, a 3-run inning. The Braves were down. But that was one of the responses. The 6th inning, Marcell Ozuna tying it up. So the Braves, kind of deflating going down like that. You think you're, at home, most of the game, you're up 5-3. Next thing you know, you're down 6-5. But Marcell Ozuna's like, nuh-uh. I may not have anybody on base, so I can't give us the lead. But damn it, I'm going to tie this shit up with a dinger. 412 feet out of the park. Just what a little stretch for Marcell Ozuna, man. Like right when I'm like, I don't know, how patient can Brian Snitker really be? Right when everybody, not just me, but everybody asking questions. Is Marcell Ozuna like, can you really keep putting him out there every day as the DH? The answer, barely yes. For now. Because right when you're about to give up on Marcell Ozuna, right when you're like, well, I guess he sucks again. Like, was it like a water boy? We suck again. He's like, nope, here he comes to smack the shit out the ball. 6 RBIs, 4 home runs in 3 games. Austin Riley has like 8 homers his last 11 games. These guys are incredible. Even when we have a rough patch, a lull, it's still better than everybody else. This team's just so much fun to watch. Of course, A.J. Smith-Shawver not able to get the win in this one, but does enough that the Braves, in the end, get the W. And hey, that's what really matters. The team W. It's nice to get your own wins along the way, but the team W is more important. AJ did go 5 innings in this one, so good job to keep going. Even though, start out, that can easy to snowball from wild pitches allowing runs in the first inning. But he kept it mostly under control. 3 runs, gave up those 2 homers to Yelich and Santana. The main concern with me is his control was not good. Like less than half his pitches were strikes. He walked 4 compared to only 3 strikeouts. So that's worrisome. Makes me think that Soroka probably has a head up over him. I would think he has the advantage if that's who is the race for the number 5 spot's going to be. Because you got Charlie, you got Spencer, and you got Bryce. About to have Max back. But who is going to be the 5th guy? And to me, I still think it's Soroka. Because I'm not sure, maybe we could, Schuster. Like, is Dodd the one that was hurt? Like, one of those two is hurt. But, they've been okay. But overall, Soroka's been the best, I feel like. And he also has that major league experience that these guys don't have. And, had to deal with the adversity with injuries. You don't want to give it to him just because. You're like, oh, he's been through some adversity. But I think he's earned it. At least another chance. And I believe we will see Soroka within the next couple weeks at some point making another start for Atlanta. And maybe they're trying to save him on some innings. I got to check. I'm not sure when he is scheduled to pitch at Gwinett. But it'd still be a few days before he'd be able to come up to the big club anyway, unless it was in response to putting someone else on the injured list. Because it's only 15 days or something, 14 days in between. But still, encouraging for A.J. Smith-Shawver, I believe. Some stuff to learn from, but he's very, very early in his career. He's very young, only been pitching a few years, and it takes some learning, especially at this level. So I would assume, I don't know if they'll send him right back down, or if they'll try to have him make one more start, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him go back down, because he's not going to be able to pitch for 5 days. And to me, it's not like the kind of appearance, the showing that you're like, oh, this guy's definitely going to stick around. He could, because I do believe he'll be back, but they're not really in a rush. Maybe they'll try to give him one more start, see if he can improve on that. Because at least the great thing about this team is just how damn good they are offensively. Gives you, maybe you feel a little more confident trying these guys out. Some of the other pitchers that going through in this one. A guy who allowed all the other runs other than Shawver, McGee. Colin McGee, almost said Charlie. He pitched 1 inning, gave up 3 hits, 1 walk, struck out 3 though. 3 runs, 0 strikeouts. I was like, wait a minute, that's pretty good. But so not such a great inning from McGee, but he's gonna kind of have those nights here and there. And the Brewers are really damn good. There ain't no scrubs. Yeah, they're a division leader. At least they were. I'm not sure. I didn't see if the Reds won today or not. So if the Reds won, they're not a division leader. But they were a division leader at the start of the game. Kirby Yates, though, having a great game, pitching like a division leader, getting the W. He is 5-0 on the year. Just feels like Kirby just keeps getting better and better. Early on in the year, looking like he did the end of last year when he briefly showed up, coming back from that Tommy John injury. That's the thing. It's easy to forget. That's a tough injury to come back from. Not, some guys could have an easy go of it. I mean, look at Bryce Harper coming back way earlier than expected. Especially as a pitcher, it can be really, really tough to come back from. And Kirby, you got to give him credit for not giving up, and give Brian Snicker and company credit for not giving up, because he's had some rough outings over the last year or so. This season, it's been not great. But it feels like the last few times he's been out there, he's just really doing a great job, getting a little more comfortable, in AJ Minter. While he's been out, we had to go with Kirby Yates. So probably sometimes we wouldn't have gone with him. So good job for him taking advantage of the injury to his bullpen cohort, I would believe, I haven't heard anything about him. I thought they said he could rejoin the team today, but I didn't see that as a notification. It doesn't mean it didn't happen. It just might have been a low-key move. Either way, he should be with the team soon. Maybe they want to give him one inning appearance for the Gwinett team. Maybe they'll wait until Gwinett was out of town. Maybe they'll wait until they come back in. But Kirby doing good. No runs, no hits, 1 strikeout, perfect 8th. Marcell Ozuna pitching a perfect 9th inning, striking out all 3 dudes he pitched against, and that gave him save number 20 on the season. So great year for Iglesias. He's had some struggles here and there, but overall, he has been a hero, baby. Just here to wash away our pain, baby. And hey, we made it through both those games. Congratulations to me. But, oh yeah, and Acuna, so much was still going on in this game. Forgot to mention Ronald Acuna had another stolen base. Because he didn't have a home run in this one. It was just kind of unusual. So 51 stolen bases on the season for Acuna. 2 of 4 in this game, scored both times, got on base. Ozzy 1 of 4. Arcia 1 of 2. Harris 1 of 3 again. Of course, he didn't score. Rough game for Sean Murphy. After the day off on Saturday, he was 0 of 4 with 3 strikeouts. Eddie Rosario also 0 of 3. But overall, great game, great series for these Braves, man. And this kind of game you really like this whole series. Because number one, scoring double-digit runs both times. 10, then 11. Of course, the bullpen, both of those first 2 games, kind of gives you some worries. But we're getting AJ Minter back soon, so that should shore things up. Pierce Johnson seems like he's been a good pickup. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the Braves make another move, at least one more, especially since they traded away one of the 2 relievers that they traded for. So if maybe they try to make another move maybe some people will talk about Nicky Lopez and how that affects Charlie Culberson with the current team, but it also could be them maybe thinking about maybe they're listening to offers for Vaughn Grissom. I don't know I don't feel like I would want to replace this guy with Vaughn Grissom, so I don't necessarily think that's what's happening, but I have heard it sounded like that Vaughn Grissom was someone that maybe they'd be willing to give up in the right situation, like for the right player, for the right compensation. Not just going to give him away because he could be a future very valuable utility piece. Even though, shortstop, he has had some struggles. I saw him make a nice throw while Max was pitching, though, yesterday. And he can hit the damn ball. We know that much. You put him in, teach him another position, play him some DH. So I don't want to see him walk for nothing. Not John Collins with the Hawks. But, something to think about because that would give them an option. There you go, another infielder to kind of fill the gap. And I know that Lopez, I believe they said he has 2 options, which means, like I said, you can send him down twice to the minor leagues. So interesting move. We'll see how it affects. That's why I think most people are thinking he'll start out in Gwinett since he has the 2 options. Well, he has been up with the big club in Kansas City. It's been rough for them. Royals and Athletics have had a rough season. Let's look at the standings really quick, and I'm going to finish up. Braves, of course, still in first place, 11.5 over the Marlins, 12 games over the Phillies, who have lost 2 in a row while we won 3 in a row. The Mets actually won a game, but, given what, trading away Scherzer, and I don't know if they saw, but they got Ronald Acuna's little brother for Max Scherzer. So that could be interesting, man. The Acunas be facing off as part of a division rivalry. So I'm sure Acuna happy about that. Maybe not happy he's a Met, other than the fact that it means he gets to see him more than he would on any team outside the division. But, hey, it's, credit to his brother, man. Sure he's learned some things from Ronald. So hopefully he'll only do good against other teams. But I'm sure we're going to have our own Acuna trouble to deal with now. But for this year, though, the Mets are done. They're 18 games back. I will believe they're going to fall farther back. Getting rid of some guys like that, getting rid of the closer, getting rid of their best starting pitcher. So the division is the Braves. They're going to win the division. But at this point, who cares? Right? Winning the division is just a goalpost on the way to winning another fucking World Series, period. Sorry. I want us to win the division. Division win series, streaks are great. I lived through one of those in the 90s. And then I got tired of this team coming up short. Because there's so many times it was great to win that one in '95, but it felt like we should have won more. Same now, and I think we will win a second one. If it's not this year, I think we'll do it. I think Brian Snitker is going to get number 2 and become the best Braves manager of all time. Sorry, Bobby, but if he wins 2, I don't think you can really debate that question at all. It'll be Brian Snitker, but he's got to win number 2 first. And I like our chances this year, man, because the Braves are good about they're not resting on their laurels. This team knows they're having fun, and they want to win a World Series. They want to have fun all the way to the end. And let's see. In the Central, and I was right, the Reds won. And thanks to us, the Brewers lost 3 in a row. And they've lost 4 of their last 10. Also, thanks to us, mostly. So now they are half a game behind the Reds in the Central. Cubs are 4 games out. Pittsburgh passed St. Louis, so they're not last place anymore. But they're still 10 games out of the Central. Winning 2. But I feel like that's coming down to 3 teams. Just like the East, except the East is going to be us. This might actually be a battle. Dansby and them Cubs are going to keep fighting. Dodgers lost a game, so they're only 2 games up on the Giants, who have won 2 in a row. Diamondbacks have lost 8 of their last 10. They are 4 games back. The Padres, a little bit of a winning streak. They've won 3 in a row, won 6 of their last 10. Still 8 games back, but hey, at least single digits. They're in the wild card chase. The Orioles, I'm about to try to watch them, and I think it's the Yankees and Orioles is the Sunday night baseball game. Just got underway. They are 1 game ahead of the Rays right now. They've won 6 of the last 10. Tampa's lost 6 of the last 10. Toronto, 5 games out, won 6 of their last 10. And Boston and New York, 7.5 and 8 games back. They're both 5-5 in their last 10. But they are both ahead of the Minnesota Twins, who just cannot stay ahead. This American League Central cannot stay ahead of even last place in the American League East. But the Twins are half a game up over Cleveland, who's 53 in second place. And then Detroit and Chicago have lost 7 of their last 10. But Detroit's still kind of in it. They're only 6.5 out. The White Sox getting rid of dumping a bunch of pitchers already, going to either the Dodgers. Of course, the Angels getting a couple guys. Kansas City, 22 games out of first. It's not as bad as being 30.5 out of first. Imagine if the Royals were in the American League East, though. That'd be rough. They would be like 30 games out. Pretty much, yeah, over 30 games out. The Rangers are still first place in the West, 1 game up on the Astros, despite losing 3 in a row and 7 of their last 10. The Angels, they're creeping in there. They're 5 games back. Half a game behind them. The Mariners, only 5.5 back. So the American League West, wide open, because there's a lot of baseball left to be played. Angels and Mariners both have won 7 of their last 10. Great to see the Angels, instead of giving up, trading away Shohei, to see them like, hey, man, look, we're trying to win. We're trying to keep this going. And they adding guys. They still got time to add more. Same with the Mariners. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Mariners make a move. Because, they got Julio Damn Rodriguez. And they got a couple really damn good pitchers, too. So, great time to be a baseball fan. Hope to see next time I will be speaking with you guys. It'll be Tuesday before my night job. Because I think tomorrow I'm going to try to go hang out with my friends. Maybe watch this new Twisted Metal TV show that's on Peacock now. Anthony Mackie is playing the main character. And they got the Killer Clown. I don't know if y'all remember. It was a great game back in the day. Everybody loved playing it. It was just like, my parents didn't like it too much because of the violence. You had the Killer Clown. It was like you drove around just like shooting at each other's vehicles and stuff. And then the main villain was like this killer, or at least one of them was like this Killer Clown. And he's played by the wrestler Samoa Joe with the voice of Will Arnett. So that should be pretty interesting to see. And damn, the Orioles are up 7-0 in the second on the Yankees. There you go. Fuck them Yanks up. Yeah, they had a 7-run first inning. Santander and O'Haron doubled. Frazier a home run with 2 guys on. And Rutschman drove in a run. That's a special type player, the catcher. DH in the night. Special type player. I bet the Yankees really, really trying to get Aaron Judge back. I think he's supposed to be coming back relatively soon. So maybe that can help them win. But hopefully not win too many. I like me some Aaron Judge, but I can't root for the Yankees ever. Ever. But hey, man, that's going to be it for me. I'm going to call it quits for today. I want to like to chill for a couple hours before I have to go to bed and wake up and do it all over again tomorrow. But hey, man, hope you all have a great day. Come back on Tuesday. See how this series is going against them Angels. Peace out.